Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this September 3rd, 2024 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Our Office Coordinator, Aaron Smith, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Aaron.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. If you're here in person and would like to make comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you're joining us virtually, we will ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda. If you're joining us virtually and are experiencing technical issues with audio or video during the meeting, submit a comment in the chat feature and our communications manager will help you troubleshoot. If you would like closed captioning during the meeting, you'll have to manually change your settings, click on the captions button and select show captions. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be posted to wcroads.org in the next few days. And there are printed copies of today's meeting agenda on the table near the front door, and it is also posted on our website. And now I'll turn it back over to Chair Fuller.
Thanks, Aaron. I now call this September 3rd, 2024 regular meeting to order and ask Aaron to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green. Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Present.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Present.
And then the following directors are in attendance. Our Managing Director, Matt McDonald. Our Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer, Brent Schlack. Director of Operations, Adam Lape, and Director of Finance, Dan Ackerman. Oh, Dan is not present, sorry.
Dan is in absentia. All right. I now ask if you would please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So move.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the agenda is approved as presented. We have two sets of minutes to approve today. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of August 20th, 2024, appearing on pages 3 through 25 as presented.
Make that motion.
Support. Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the board meeting minutes of August 20th are accepted as presented. Next, may I have a motion to accept the working session minutes of August 20th, 2024, appearing on pages 26 through 29 of the packet.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion, additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the working session minutes of August 20th are accepted as presented. We have time now set aside for reports from our county commission liaisons. I don't see any. On the
Correct,
screen.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. We'll move on. This is to public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board, and Aaron will explain how people may be recognized to offer comments.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. For virtual attendees, we have provided some instructions on the screen on how to participate and make comment. If you're attending this meeting virtually and would like to make comment, please raise your hand now. If you dialed into the meeting from your phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. Our communications manager will unmute virtual participants with raised hands one at a time and will announce your username or the last 4 digits of your phone number when it is your turn to speak. Please share your name and address before beginning your comments. And then for our in-person attendees, we will start with those who signed up on the sign-in sheet as you walked in. If you didn't sign in, you're still welcome to make comment. Our communications manager will notify you when it is your turn.
We do not have comment at this time.
All right, I just want to note that we have the Sharon Township Supervisor, Kathy Spiegel, in the audience, as well as Andrew Shepherd's from Wholesome. We will move on to written communications, appearing on pages 30 through 33. Commissioners, is there anything you wish to draw our attention to or remark about? Commissioner Yamas.
I'd like to acknowledge management and non-management for doing such a great job to make the water move successful, and the letter to Tiffany explaining McClure Road was in great shape for their water move. And I know that's a team effort, so thank you to everybody.
Anyone else? All right, thank you. We will move on. We had no public comments, so there is no need to spend time on follow-up. New business consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 5? Motions appear on page 35 through 37. The background is on pages 38 through 52.
So moved.
Support.
Any questions about any of the items? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes,
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burt Buller.
Yes, the consent agenda is approved as presented. We have 2 action items today. Action item number 1, may I have a motion to approve the 2024-2025 Washtenaw County Road Commission Transportation Asset Management Plan. The motion is on page 37. Background runs from pages 33 through 109.
Madam Chair, that upon the recommendation of the Director of Engineering, County Highway Engineer, and the concurrence of the Managing Director, the Board hereby approves and authorizes the Chair and Managing Director to sign the 2024-2026 Washtenaw County Road Commission Transportation Asset Management Plan in accordance with Public Act 325.
Support.
Any comments? We went over this pretty extensively at our last working session. Anything you wanted to add, Mr. Director of Engineering?
Hi, Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. Yes, I would. I appreciate the discussion that we had last week in the working session. I did want to bring your attention. We do have within the appendix of the report, and I'll reference the pages within the packet. So our primary paved road unfunded list is within the report, and that's in Appendix E of the report in page 101 within your packet. That's for our primary roads, our unfunded list. And then we have our bridge, which was modified from our draft report. That's in Appendix G, and that's on page 103 within the packet. And I just wanted to have a short discussion, because last time there was a little bit of confusion, because within the body of the report, it had listed that there were 27 bridges that were in poor or critical condition. And so now, and then there was in the discussion or the presentation, I had listed that there were 7, and the 7 that I had listed were primary road, not primary and local. So if you refer to page 103 within the packet, you'll see that there are actually 6 primary road bridges that are on the unfunded list. One of the ones that we previously had listed was Tyler Road Bridge, but actually the bridge for Tyler Road is actually in fair condition, even though the roadway is closed. The bridge is actually in fair condition. The closure is because of the approach to that bridge, not because of the bridge itself. So there are 6 primary road bridges that are in poor, that are on an unfunded list. And then there are 17 local road bridges that are in poor condition that are on that unfunded list. And then we have 4 bridge projects that are planned, that are funded, that are within the body of the report, which equate to the 27 bridges that are poor or critical condition.
Okay. Everybody with Brent?
I know, it was a lot there.
Commissioner McCollum.
So, the bridge, the Tyler Bridge, I did read that, it wasn't gonna be replaced or anything.
We are working right now with Water Resource Commission to look at that roadway, basically the bridge and the dam, to come up with some type of method to and hopefully get that reopened back up. We have to work through an Eagle permitting, through their dam permitting and through Water Resources. So once we look at all that, then depending on what the results of those plans are and the permitting through Eagle, then we'll determine how that impacts our plans to get that back opened or to repair that.
So it sounds like it's not gonna cost as much as what we thought it was going to.
That's to be determined.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what those costs are. We've estimated some of those, but we're looking through those plans and working with Eagle. We don't know what Eagle is gonna come up with some of their requirements. And so we don't have a solid estimated cost right now.
Thank you, Brett.
Good questions? Mr. McEnroe.
Just Brent, my understanding is that we're gonna be submitting the Eagle permit shortly,
Correct. Yes, thanks, Matt. Yeah, we've been
timing
working
perspective.
with a consultant through Water Resource has a consultant that's working on some projects of theirs and also, which includes the Tyler Road dam and bridge. And through that, they're getting things ready to submit for Eagle. So we actually got a draft of that permit language this morning. And so we're hoping to have that submitted here soon.
Commissioner Green.
Thank you. So of the 6 unfunded primary road bridges, that means there's no money to fix them at this time at some
Correct.
point?
Yeah, so
It
that
will.
we don't have anything, no funding programmed for those 6 unfunded locations. So we'll continue to monitor those. We'll continue to do our annual, or in this case, we'll do our annual inspection because they're in poor condition. And then unfortunately, we may have to start limiting our weight restrict those bridges up until potential closure.
I see. Thank you.
So I have a question. Who owns the bridge? Who owns the dam?
Water Resource Commission owns the dam and the
Oh.
road commission is responsible, has jurisdiction over the bridge.
Is the dam intact? Any?
The
Problem.
dam appears to be intact.
Okay.
Hmm.
Good to know who's the owner.
So aside from that, yeah, it was quite the process to go through this, and I just wanted to clear up any confusion regarding the bridges from last week.
Great. Did that make sense, Aaron? You got all that? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks,
All right,
Brent.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns about the Transportation Asset Management Plan? Right, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Joya McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs
Yes.
and Commissioner Burpler.
Yes, the 2024-2026 Washtenaw County Road Commission Transportation Asset Management Plan is approved as presented and corrected according to the Director of Engineering. Next, we have action item number 2. May I have a motion to begin our scheduled closed session under Michigan compiled laws 15.268, parent 1, parent A, and parent 1, parent 8 of the Open Meetings Act to consider a citizen complaint against Commissioner McCollum by Joshua McAllister and to consider written legal advice regarding the complaint. Aaron, if you would call the roll, please.
We need a
I'll make
roll.
that motion.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you. Who seconded?
Second.
Thank you. Thanks, Aaron.
Yep. Commissioner Joya McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burpler.
Yes, we are proceeding with closed session. We will go upstairs into room 220 to consult with legal counsel. We'll be back thereafter. Thank you. May I have a motion to end closed session and return to regular open session?
So move.
Second.
If you would please, Aaron, call the roll.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burkholder.
Yes. Next, may I have a motion to authorize the managing director to respond to Mr. Joshua McAllister?
So, I'm sorry. So moved.
Any discussion?
Support.
You good, Matt, with that verbiage?
Thank you.
Okay. Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
and Commissioner Burkholder.
Yes. The managing director is authorized to respond to Mr. McAllister on behalf of the board. Let's move on to the reports of the road commissioners, starting with Commissioner Green.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On August 28th, I attended the town hall session with Debbie Dingle. We had a discussion about transit, affordable housing, and property taxes. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Smurs?
August 28th, I was the commissioner on chats. We did not have a participant.
Oh,
It's
your
only second
record
time.
is flawed.
My second time ever, so I don't know, can't hit 3 here. I don't know what's going on.
All right. Anything else?
No, sorry, that's the end of my report.
Okay. Commissioner McCollum?
Yes, Madam Chair, on August 21st, I attended the road commission. We did not have any
Visitors?
any visitors. On August 28th, I attended the Title IX ribbon cutting at the Dexter Huron Metro Park. That was very nice. On August 31st, I attended the Cheney site groundbreaking community celebration for the eastern side of the county recreation community center that will be built there. That was also very nice. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Yamas? No report. I will report that on August 26th, I attended the Roads Plus board meeting at the Lansing County Road Association office. On August 28th, I too attended the Title IX Plaza ribbon cutting. That's a special stop along the way on the border to border trail and dedication at the Dexter Huron Metro Park. And just as a refresher, Title IX was enacted in 1972 as part of the civil rights law in the federal level, and it prohibits sex-based discrimination in any school or any other education program that receives funding from the federal government. And it's been my pleasure this past year to see the actual result of that law based on Julia and Lily, 2 daughters of people who are employed here, 2 young women playing hockey. There never would have happened without Title IX. I'd like to congratulate Josh Summerhill. Josh has earned his master's in information technology utilizing the Washtenaw County Road Commission tuition reimbursement program. Well done and congratulations, Josh, if you're out there listening. Also want to congratulate Micah Robinson, Joshua Knopf, Eric Gosieski for passing their CDLA test as participants in our new Earn While You Learn program with the Road Commission. The Road Commission covers the tuition for the 3-week training course, and it also then pays those participants their regular wages during their time in the classroom. So congratulations and my compliments to those 3 men for taking advantage of that new program to help us backfill on our heavy truck drivers. And that concludes my report. We will move on next to staff reports and road commission updates. Staff reports appear on pages 110 through 122. I'll turn it over to Matt.
Thank you, Chair. I will report on behalf of Dan Ackerman. He had something come up and couldn't attend today. But I will report on the last page of the board packet, Michigan Transportation Funds. We did receive in for the month of July, and we were slightly down. And we wanted to reassure, typically, for whatever reason, the historic pattern is July is a down month. We did look back in 2022, 23, we have the comparison whereby it was $2.7 million and we received 2.6. In 2022, it was 2.4. For whatever reason, July seems to be one of the lower months, and then we will continue to monitor as we move forward. Right now, we're just 1% under our projected revenue. We anticipate making that up with the remaining months, particularly the last month is oftentimes where we'll see that there's the pot for potholes tax for cannabis usage and sales. So we've got that in the last month. So you see, usually we're hovering in and around 3 million. And that December month typically is around closer to 4. So we'll continue to track that. But that, I want to make you aware of that. Also, Dan wanted to let you know that Crasif, who does our workers' comp insurance, he's beginning an audit for our workers' comp. So his staff and him are being responsive to Crasif and going through that process. One of the many audits which Dan and his staff are responsible for. Responding to. So with that, I'll go ahead and ask that Brent Schlack come on up and offer up the engineering report.
Good afternoon, Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. Tiffany's going to kind of follow along with my update. So whenever Tiffany's ready. Okay. So first off, we'll start with some of our HMA paving projects. Sile Church Road between Zeeb and Wagner. This one, the paving was completed. We're putting the aggregate shoulders on and pavement markings will happen this week. Platt Road.
Is Scio Church open?
Sile Church is open, yes. Sorry, I did not
No,
mention
sorry.
that. Platt Road, between Textile and Ellsworth. This is a millage project. We'll be milling this, this segment of road this week, and we're hoping to have it paved next week. That's between Textile and Ellsworth. Jackson Road, the concrete inlay project between Myrtle and Jackson Industrial. This one, we had traffic was shifted from the outside lanes into the inside lanes onto the new pavement. And they've begun removing the pavement on the outside lanes last week. So we're hoping to have some curb installed here soon, and then they'll finish while they're finishing their removals.
So Brent, I'm sorry, anyone have a question yet? Serious backups for westbound on Jackson between Myrtle and Zeeb. Is there any signalization that's being
Yes.
adjusted to help with that?
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. We have been working with our signal group to help monitor and make updates where necessary. We have seen those backups. Unfortunately, we've had to pinch them down to just one lane. We weren't able, in the previous layout, we were able to have a right turn lane to go north on Zeeb and a through lane. Now we have to neck them down to just one lane. And so unfortunately, there are going to be some delays during those peak times. We are monitoring that though with signal timing. Same with the traffic pattern that we've changed for southbound Zeeb. Southbound Zeeb is now through and a through right. And previously we were able to have an exclusive right. So again, we had to push that out mainly because of the truck movements, try and keep them away from the new pavement or our removals right now. So yeah, so we've had to make some adjustments. There are some delays and we're aware of those and we're trying to make adjustments.
the message board that you had with the big arrows on it for southbound Z was great.
Oh,
I don't
good.
know if there's any on westbound Jackson.
Just
I skipped that and
updating.
Went down to Wagner.
Oh, yeah, just updating them with the project.
Okay,
Not as far as the laneage, but just letting them know that there's going to expect delays.
okay.
Stony Creek Bridge, over Paint Creek. This is a federal aid, local bridge funds. We had to limit some work last week due to the rains, but they are working through some of their removals. They are still expecting, delivery of that box culvert here in the next, 2 to 3 weeks. So we're moving forward with that. And then, some other projects that are on our weekly road work report to bring to your attention. Stabler Road at Park Road. This is a permit project. The intersection there is closed. And so there's a detour, and that's to realign, the stream and to, put a new box culvert. They're expecting that box culvert next week. So they'll be moving forward with that. But that's quite a large, permitted project, and I do wanted to bring it to your attention because the intersection is closed.
So that, do I remember right? There was consideration of 2 culverts versus 1 in that location, and engineering decided 1 was the better approach.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah, there's currently 2, or, I mean,
Oh,
they're removing those now, but yeah, there's currently 2 crossings, and, they consolidated that to 1.
Brent, there was a little bit of road realignment.
Yes.
On Stabler Road,
Yes.
as you may recall, they ultimately, that got delayed a little bit because, the developer had not gotten, the appropriate approvals from Scioto Township, Planning Commission on some of the realignment that affected the site plan. That all has taken place where the developer has the Eagle permit and Scioto Township sign off on the site plan changes. So that was scheduled for last summer. It's actually happening this summer, right? Because of, they put a pause, made sure and got through all the approvals. So that was a little misstep by the developer, but they corrected that.
Yep. And ultimately, that intersection will be paved. Stabler Road is paved now, but it'll be paved along Park Road from the intersection to basically the property line of that development. So I don't know the footage
Park?
there along Park. Yes.
Does that is Park all going to be paved then? The full length of it?
Park will not all be paved. There will be a segment that is unpaved. But we're working with the township. The township's eager to, work something out to try and pave the remaining segment, but, not at this time. It's not paved. It will not be paved.
Yeah, this is a local road, so the township
Correct.
is engaged their township engineer to design plans for extending the pavement all the way to Zeeb.
Good.
But by the end of the summer, it will not happen, but we're hopeful at some point next summer.
But the township has to pay for that?
Yes,
Yes,
they could apply their matching funds if they
they could.
chose.
Yes.
But that's up to them.
Okay.
The other project, just to bring your attention, because it's part of a local township agreement. We are in the Ypsilanti Township Green Farms subdivision, which is right near Bemis, Whitaker, just that northwest corner. It's quite a large subdivision. We're in there doing concrete work right now, the concrete ramps. And then later we'll come back to mill and overlay the pavement. So we are in there, and I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention.
Yes, this is a significant investment by Ypsilanti Township.
Yes.
The roadways are in fair condition, so that's going to extend the service life by overlaying it. So that's a very good thing. We really applaud their investment there.
So the township's paying for that one?
Yes.
Yes,
Got it. Okay.
yes. Yep. Aside from that, I would encourage anyone to visit our website, as Tiffany has followed along, either through our weekly road work report or any project related through our road work and construction page. Aside from that, that's all, concludes my report unless there's
You've
any
been busy.
questions. Yes, very, very busy right now. Yes.
Thank you, Brian.
Any questions?
All right, next up, we have Adam Lape for our operations report.
Well, thank you, Tiffany. Good afternoon, Adam Lape, Director of Operations. Provide a little update today, and Tiffany grabbed a few photos for us to look at. As you can see, that's life every day for the heavy equipment crew. So some of these are a little more major projects, but this is still somewhat maintenance in our eyes. We just ended up having a little bit more maintenance to do. I believe that's a recent culvert, though. Yeah, is that that's Bemis, okay. So this is one of the Drain Commission projects that we've been talking about, one of the grant projects we've been
ARPA
working
money?
through.
No?
What's that? Yes.
Was it
Stormwater grant.
Originated,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
originated. So this Drain Commission grant, that was last, I believe, Monday, Tuesday, they were out there working, maybe even a little bit on Wednesday. And Jason Klaus provided those for us. So just wanted to provide some opportunity to see that. That's obviously a pretty good photo. That's stood outside the hole, so not to confuse anybody, that's probably from Jason taking that, and I think Ryan Lewis is standing up there with one of the excavators. So pretty big job. It was a nice big culvert we got set in there. You see working around, use some utilities. So kind of business as usual, but to that group, but to all of us, it's a pretty big project. So
What's the cable strung across?
that's
there?
probably telecommunication, I would assume. Yeah, so we typically find stuff in the ground we work through, and something like that, you see there's a little bit of slack in the line, so to speak. So we're able to kind of move that around and whatever materials we're putting in underneath those usually. So it's nice when they leave us a little bit of slack. Doesn't always work that way, but sometimes we can adjust the elevation to get there.
And these aren't our pieces of heavy equipment,
No,
right?
those are rented.
Okay.
Those are rented pieces of equipment. Oh, that's okay. Okay, so as Tiffany's kind of working through there, we're gonna kind of look and focus a little bit on maintenance here in a little bit, but so the crews, they continue to work on the 2024 operations and some engineering projects with prep work, and most of that's drainage improvements. South Church would be a good example that Brent kind of made the note that the project kind of reached completion. You know, that type of project is where operations will get their hands involved. And we usually do the drainage prep work or some forestry prep work prior to engineering taking that over for the paving. Then last week, we did have a quick round of thunderstorms come through the county, basically made for necessity to be here for a long evening, 27th into the 28th, I believe those were the dates. Measurable rain, measurable wind, thunderstorms as well. Nothing, you know, in the thousands of trees or anything, kind of our normal response, but Matt and I were talking about it last week, and so we like to give these weather updates. We had a few crews had to work some longer hours, but made it through it and kind of kept moving. We got kind of lucky with the high temperatures and the humidity like that, and the way all the pressure was in the atmosphere. It was surprised we only had a little event. You know, the clouds were very ominous before that evening, so we were happy to get by with just some trees and some rain. So now on the screen there, another piece of rental equipment, and then also in the background, you see one of our gradles, one of our 3 gradles that we have. This is on Willis Road. So this has been an ongoing, basically subterranean drain. So basically a drain tile that used to encase the ditch. So enclosed ditch, sometimes you hear us refer to. Years and years ago, not entirely sure of the origination where all this came from. So we've worked with it and tried to work through some of the erosion that it's created. And finally got to a point where, as you can see, that the property owners mow it. It's done well for us, but we got to a point where other constituents assumed that there were some water issues caused by it, which 100% confident that it wasn't, but we still had to address that and address, you know, the conversation with the constituents. The constituents that were concerned were on actually other side of the road, which is you're looking south basically, so on the west side of the road. No correlation, but there is groundwater there. It's moving water. That's almost a 5 foot in diameter culvert there, and it's concrete. That was put in years and years ago. So the heavy equipment crew, District 5 crew, even some of the state trunk line crew, I think even helped on that project. Went out there with the goal to create a bulkhead. And once we started moving the soil around, it was saturated enough that we essentially just took the top part of the culvert off, so the top half off, and then we're able to encase that and then backfill everything to eliminate that. So essentially stop the water going underneath the ground and put it up in a ditch where we can watch it and actually see where it's coming from, to help the water in that area. There's a drain kind of standing where Jason's taking these pictures over, it would be over to his shoulder. So to the north of him, there's a drain behind him, a county drain. So we're able to get the water that direction. In this area in time could see some improvements and some change if they ever replace the bridge or a non-motorized goes through there. So there's some things that may occur over the course of time. So we just had to make sure it was stabilized for the moment. So we've restored it now, and we'll get grass growing there for next year. And then the property owners, they were thankful, and they, as you can see, they do a great job mowing right to the edge of the road for us. So we're not going to stand in their way, but it's been 10 years in the making getting to this point. All of us in the department over the last 10 years have kind of dealt with this. The first time I went out there, I was only here a week or two, and it was water trickling, couldn't figure out where it's coming from. There used to be bushes and trees down through there, and so we've improved that. We even had a contractor do some bulkheading to try to block some of that water. But now we finally got to the point where we're able just to redirect it and keep it up on the ground so we can actually watch it. So,
Adam, the existing pipe, my understanding, the joints were separating.
Yep.
And so you'd have water infiltrating and then taking the soil with it. That's sort of the erosion problem.
Yeah.
So really what we were kind of, over the years, having to address it piece by piece.
Yes, literally 5, 6, 10.
And so now this is a permanent solution where they remove the top of the pipe. We're able to, ultimately, backfill it and have an open drainage ditch
Yeah.
all the way to the outlet. And they did a really nice job.
Yeah, and so instead of seeing wet saturated soils like that, we're able to provide an opportunity now for that water to evacuate, kind of get its way through. And not just sit there and wait to draw in some more of that yard. So with having a constituent that's willing to mow like that, and I mean, it was manicured, it was beautiful. We'll get it back to beautiful before we call it good. But yeah, the homeowners, they were great. They've always been really good with us. And even back, like I say, my time on the road with them, they were as helpful as they could be. When we removed the brush, they cut more out, and they started mowing the whole thing. So they've been doing pretty good. So yeah, we move on. It's interesting. Sometimes maintenance turns into 10 years to get it there, but so we think we're pretty happy with the end result here.
So this was done before the big rainstorm, right?
Yeah, this would have been
Did it work?
finishing out the week before. Yes, yeah, we had 0 calls on it. So
Okay.
I believe Trevor Fiesel, the foreman in District 5, and then Jason Klaus, the heavy equipment foreman, they have a very much vested interest in this. And Ken Harris certainly, because him and I have been here for 10 years and this thing has eluded us left and right. So we're finally to the point where we feel like we're in a good place. So,
Okay.
but you can see the little bit, when it would draw soil down through there, you would have just spots every 5, 10, 50 feet, and just not conducive to the drainage we want. So, found the opportunity to be able to get that restored.
Yeah, I think the storm we may have to go back and address some restoration, some seeding and
Mhm.
hydro seeding, but ultimately we're gonna let the grass grow a little first and then go back and
Yep.
touch it up.
Restoration is pretty easy for us now with rented hydro seeders. We can provide a pretty good end result with restoration, actually on the cruise. So we decided to rent one this year, and it's turned out pretty good. The group is getting the mix design kind of figured out which way they want to do, and we're getting some pretty good germination on some of the jobs. We even restored a subdivision in Scioto Township, which normally we would have a landscaper restore in subdivisions. Because a highway mix is a little more robust to kind of protect against just the road traffic itself, kind of a hardy grass, like a ryegrass type of, real stalky stuff, and to protect against erosion. So we've actually been able to refine that a little bit and get nice green grass when we're done, not just thick highway grass. So
I hope the people who brought this to our attention this season were
Yes.
appropriately grateful.
yes, I believe so. I mean, I think Trevor and Jason made probably friends they didn't know they were ever going to have while they were
Okay.
out there with the family. And myself, I've had a few conversations with them. So I think the neighbors also made some suggestions to the original constituent that was concerned that they should maybe do some different property work to maybe help themselves because our water, and it was nice to have constituents supporting us a little bit, like the water's not there because of the other side of the road was a good conversation for them to have. So
Well done.
Jason Klaus helped with that and so did Trevor. So turned out good.
Great.
That is update wise. I know it's kind of a long one, but that's really all we had. Still business as usual.
Anything for Adam? No, okay, thanks.
All
Adam.
right, thank you, Adam. That concludes our reports.
All right. Our next, let's make sure I'm right church wrong. All right. Our next board and working session, those two meetings occur on September 17th. Working session at 9, regular board meeting at 1. Upcoming chat sessions tomorrow, I'm on call. September 11th, Commissioner Green. September 18th, Commissioner Yamas. September 25th, Commissioner McCollum. Please note that beginning Thursday, the Road Commission resumes its regular office hours, those being Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So we'll be here 5 days a week, starting Thursday and rolling on forward. If there's no further business to come before the board, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Support.
Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green
Yes,
and Commissioner Burkholder.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
thank you.
Mhm.